Part 2 on the birth of a nation and the Christian church. The Last Supper on the Olympics, which was the Feast of the Gods, which was Zeus, the Jesus, the light bearer, all these different things, okay? The birth of a nation through the Bible is one aspect, to where you have the Christian church coming in, the bond coming in. And through this, to where the church can't do all things, they're coming up to go to war basically for morals, the morah, and the morals for the Israel, and different things. But morals are imposed reality by other people. All right, and they do all this with a projection, and this projection creates different nations through time. All right, and we can look around our world and see how this thing has gone around the world, and people have broken off and created new nations. We're even told this with our own story. Okay, so they even tell us with what's going on in the pilgrims. The pilgrim is for the pillow, first off, and the pill that everybody swallowed per se, as far as that hook, line, and sinker. And then we got that hook, line, and sinker coming for that transformation on the Olympics and such. But in our day and culture, some people teach, as far as the world stage and projection or whatever, right, that Satan, all right, Satan created this, that, and the other, or Satan's involved with this, that, or the other. Okay, even the Christian church teaches that Satan controls this world. Okay, so he is the God of this earth. So as he's the God of this earth and the God of this projection or whatever, that Bible, the outward and inward Jew, the two-edged sword where Satan's seat is, that's one part of that two-edged sword, okay? That's his book. That's what he uses to control man, okay? So as man, we are that light, we are the Lucifer, and we can either choose to be positive or negative, and that is Satan or Jesus. And this comes and this flows in and out, okay? Because sometimes it's okay to kill a deer, but it's not okay to kill a man or whatever, okay? So there's kinds of different things going on here. And what's going on the world projection is like everybody's going to be promoted to basically go kill themselves. And they've 75, 80%, maybe 50%, depending on the shots of Babylon that have been taken into the body and stuff in different ways. When you get at people, the target, that positive and negative, the X marks the spot, and the X app and all those other things, and then it's going to be shown as negative, and they're going to shock out when they're holding it in their hand, and the Nimrods are going to drop it down and all those other things, okay? So basically the nation of worshiping Satan, all right, this is where we see like Satan temples coming up and all these other things, all right? This is where they get their church, okay? And we need to think about things, folks, because the Christian church, okay, this is a spiritual book that they are taking as literal and carnal, and they're reading a parable as like real shit, okay? So this is where they get blinded, and Jesus warns them, the blind leading the blind, and well, that's faith. And faith is that New Testament doctrine. We don't see that really in the Old Testament. And then the New Testament, you see it all over. So that's that inward Jew where you have to have faith. So he's warning about the blind leading the blind. He's warning about the covenant. Test all men before it comes out. And then Peter, otherwise known as Satan to Jesus, he calls him, get behind me. Because Jesus came to teach leaders. He came to build leaders, not followers. And everybody is so-called following Jesus when they need to lead the ears. But they have blinded you and have deafened you so you cannot see and you cannot hear. And the veil of Moses, it tells you, blinds you. And they use Moses to blind you. So this blinded nation, this asleep nation, the ones who cannot wake, the ones under the American dream, they're going to wake up, nightmare, go back to sleep. Then when they close their eyes, or even before they close their eyes, bam, knocked in the head by the Allah meat. Or they're going to wake up to a nightmare, right? And then they're going to, they're going to be in the slaughter. Allah meat. And then, okay? So first off, that's not more humane, all right? More effed up. And the F up is the 6. And there's few that find it. The few that find it, what's the F-U? All right? Because you got to say F-U every now and then to get your own light. And now they're teaching mushrooms are bad. And all this stupid shit. It's like just, it's all code speak first off. But the diet. Diet. Die you. You just got to realize there's a positive world and a negative world. And you can do all things in a positive world. But everything that they've shown you as positive is actually negative. So that's where you just got to make your own Oreo cookie. Okay? Which you probably can't do or whatever, so it probably just means you shouldn't be eating it. The Christian church, 47,000 denominations as of 2024, 2022, 45,000 denominations out of 2 billion Christians. There's one Catholic account for the 33,089, and we got those 89 coming with a 2-3 upon you, but and 6 branches. Okay, so they don't have that 7th branch per se. They teach a single God. When it tells you in Genesis, it's us and our, behold, man has become as one of us. Why wouldn't you want to take from the tree of knowledge? The Christian church teaches that the tree of knowledge of good and evil that makes you as God is bad. So this also ties into where they take the bite of the apple and they realize, oh, what's all this stuff in this thing? It's turned into a crystal ball where it shows me everything. They're going to be scared and see their own reflection. The own reflection might be like where all your shit is exposed one day. Everything on the internet that's ever been, whatever is put out there. That ties into something else. So, as this nation, one nation under God, where we have the right to worship God however we want. All right, the people who don't want to worship God however they want. All right, we can see the nation of Muslim, we can see the nation of Christian, we can see the nation of this, that, or the other. So, 3 nations, 4 nations, 12 nations, 13 nations, we could see maybe. But at least we'll have a two-sided system, the positive and negative, or the negative positive. And need to think of it as where we've been under a masculine rule, we're going into a feminine rule. And as this masculine rule is going to gather to a point, and it's basically going to create its nation and then peter out, per se. Okay? And that peter out is part of that Satan. Get behind me, Satan. And as Jesus comes, get behind me. But they're not going to get behind him. Because they're Jesus, they're so-called Jesus Christ, which marks the right hand of the name and number. That mark in the right hand from the beast are going to be gathered to work, to gather that last age of man, because man is going into new heaven and earth. And that's where that new America, the new U.S., that God of the us and our. The our is being taken and put into the eastern hemisphere, the right hemisphere, per se. And that right hemisphere is in the bond, is in where the Lord God, the Son, has come down into a man and he's ruling you. So maybe each of the candlesticks, there's 7 that gather, and then the 8th one is the new coming. And then it sets forth to all the flames of the new lights coming. And the 8 connects us to the infinity, and the 8, the H, those things in the bell, for the belly. And the belly is for the parasite, where we're eating stuff. And the eating stuff ties into the Garden in Eden, and it's how it's gathering its people, and it's gathering its people for reward, or to go into whatever, and the arrows and the points and stuff tie into the projection thing I'm gonna get into in the another video. So the Bible, two-edged sword, where Satan's seed is. There's a Satan that says, do all things. Be whatever you want to be. And there's a Satan, Jesus, says you can't do all things. So I know a lot of these churches have more than 2 laws with just their dress code. Okay? So Jesus and the prophets have 2 laws. And they didn't include going to church. And they didn't include giving 10% of your money. And they didn't include going and living your life by that man over there. Jesus said, if you want to follow, follow. It's not up to you.